second because I do want to give it a chance to brown. And I'm going to start cutting my tomatoes. You know, you can get it. Actually gonna melt and become saucy. They had asked me if they don't like using tomatoes. If you don't like using tomatoes, you can omit them completely, but do add some sort of acid, some sort of tart vitamin C element to it, and you can do lemon juice, lime juice, lemon juice, whatever you like, towards the end of your cooking. The reason mainly for that is to have balance of flavors, obviously, but also to absorb all of your nutrients. It's essential to have vitamin C in your food, or iron and magnesium and whatever other essential nutrients are in your vegetables. So tomatoes, are we on? Adding like whatever little juice that's come out, because that's where all your nutrients and your juice and your water is. I'm just gonna mix it. I'm gonna show you what mine looks like right now. You don't really hear the sizzle because I turned my heat down. I'm turning my heat back up. So what has happened with my garlic, it's got, but it hasn't browned, and that's okay because we're gonna keep cooking this. So good. I have my heat up on all the way. She can't hear me. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you either.
Yeah.
It's cutting
you
in and
can't
out.
Hear me? Really? I wonder. How about my audio is cutting out? You think it's my? No, they're saying it's cutting out. It's Josie. It's cutting in and out. Yeah.
It's been for the past few minutes, cutting in and out. But I can hear you now.
I think when we mute, unmute, mute, unmute, we go back and forth. It tends to do that. Can you hear me okay now?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. There's a little bit of a lag. Okay, my heat is on all the way high, you guys. And I don't know if you can hear the sizzle, but it's coming together. I'm gonna show you what it looks like right now. Baba, can I get my screen lower just a little bit so they can kind of see into my pot? Just a little bit. Yeah, perfect. Yep, thank you. That's it. I know my head's a little cut off, but it's okay. Do you guys see? What happened to my phone? We haven't even added any spices to it. It's only cumin, garlic, ginger, onions, and tomatoes. And you can see the tomatoes are starting to melt. The skin is starting to wilt and come off. This is kind of like, it's super yummy. The water is starting to evaporate. And I want to show you my oil is starting to separate from this masala base. take a quick look into my pan just for a second. If you can just stop for a second. I just want to show you, you see right here, this sizzle right here. This is oil. So what's happened is all of this is oil now that's come back out of my vegetables, my onions, my tomatoes, my garlic. Most of the moisture has evaporated. So now I have the oil back. It's starting to stick, and that's where your flavor is coming. So now what we're gonna do is add our ground spices to this oil that's come back out. I'm gonna turn my heat down because I'm talking to you right now, but you guys can keep cooking and stirring. And I'm gonna start adding my spices to this oil. Now, if we had added ground spices a minute sooner and it was still very watery and the tomatoes were still mushy, the ground spices would not have time to toast and kind of bloom. They need oil. Spices are fat soluble. They need the oil to kind of come alive. I'm going to start by adding 1 teaspoon of turmeric. Turmeric for this dish. Potatoes to it, that potatoes absorb everything. I'm doing 1 teaspoon of coriander powder. My teaspoon is actually half teaspoon. I'm just gonna mix it. Oh my God, it smells so good. And then I have my garam masala, which my kit have the garam masala. And garam masala, there's really no equivalent of it in English per se. It's a spice blend of 6 different spices, and you can buy it pre-made. I make my own, and different families have different blends, different spices. Some people put, mine has cumin, coriander, cinnamon, black pepper, black cardamom, and cloves. Those are the 6 spices that I chose. Bay leaves, I'm sorry. I toast them and then I grind them fresh. Spice blend adds, yes.
How much garam masala?
A teaspoon.
1 teaspoon? Ha, thank you.
Sheet. You know the flyer that I post? You know you guys can print that.
I should print it.
Honestly, because I don't follow my own recipes. So I'll just go rogue. So I have to keep it fair for you guys. I have to kind of, I like to wing it. Cooking for me is very, very intuitive, and it's very, like, it's something that I have a very hard time. That's why I'm not a very good baker, because I don't like to follow recipe. If it calls for 2 cups of chocolate chips, I'll put like 4 cups of chocolate chips, because that's what I feel like doing. And that's not really how baking should be. So all the spices, let me just scan. I added everything except for the half teaspoon of crushed red pepper. I'm gonna wait on that, and I haven't salted or put pepper in it right now. And I'm gonna show you what it looks like so you guys have an idea of the deliciousness. Look at this. Going for, and you'll see why when we're finished making it. This is concentrated right now. And if you want to, you can take a taste, like pick up a little bit, pinch fingers just so you can taste it. Yeah, just so you have an idea of, like, if you salt it right now, it's to die for. You can add a little salt and a little bit more olive oil and toss like an al dente pasta. Oh my God, it's like, it's the, and you can toss some broccoli or cauliflower or whatever you might have at home in it. Oh, so good. Easiest thing. On a piece of sourdough bread and sprinkling some sea salt on top. Oh my God, it's so good. This is like bruschetta type of amazingness. Okay, so I have everything. All my spices are in here except for salt, pepper, and red pepper. I'm not adding that at this point. Now I'm going to add my potatoes. That's very, very important. So my potatoes are completely raw. I have 3 russet potatoes. I'm gonna cut them small. So I'll cut it and I'll show you the size of pieces I'm going for. Another little hack for this recipe, of course you can use sweet potatoes. And if you don't wanna, if you're watching your starch, you can omit potatoes altogether, but you'll see when we're done with this dish, it's really not a lot of potatoes at the end of the day. And I love potatoes in this dish because they masala that we have here, and they're just so divine. They taste. I'm a sucker for carbs and starches. I don't know what to tell you. I'll stick potatoes in anything I can get my hands in.
Hey, Alex, we can't hear you. Yeah, you're cutting in and out a little more now.
Is that why? Just like whatever, the ladies. Is it any better?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It might be the headphones, but it's in and out. So like, okay. You can still hear what you're saying, but just not that well.
Okay, that's not good then, because my banter is the best part of this. Besides how cute I am. Can I take my headphones off? Okay.
Agreed.
All right. You can turn up the volume on it all the way. Can you guys hear me now?
Perfect.
Yes, better. Okay, let's just do that. I like to use headphones because it cuts out ambient noise around me, but it's okay. We don't need it. Actually, I feel better. Okay, so I want to show you what my potatoes look like. They're kind of small. I'll put it in my hand if that helps you kind of see. They're small pieces because I want them, and this is what my masala looks like. I have my heat on very, very low right now, so I don't burn, and I'm cutting my potatoes. I'm just gonna finish. Actually, you know what? I wonder if I even need, I think I don't need my third potato. I'm just gonna do 2 potatoes. And I have this many peppers. This was huge. These are tiny, and these are halves. So basically 3 big peppers is what I have. I'm only gonna do 2 potatoes today. And it's up to you depending on your size. I think my potatoes are a little bit bigger. Okay. I'm gonna add my potatoes to the masala that we made. There's gonna be a quiz later, you guys. I hope you're listening. I'm just gonna mix everything really, really well, and I'll show you. Oh, you can see in my pot. Okay. I'm turning up the heat a little bit. It smells so good. Okay. I'm just gonna fry the potatoes in the oil that we already have in here, just to let the spices melt. I'm gonna add salt at this point. I'm only doing half a teaspoon of salt right now, just salting the potatoes. Mix them, incorporate really well. Let me show you what mine look like. Do you guys see? So it's very dry right now. And I'm just kind of getting all the spices all over. You can taste it if you like, but this is not a good measurement of how we're gonna salt it. I'm gonna add half a cup of water to this. This was 1 cup. I'm just adding a little bit more than half a cup of water. So it's kind of soupy like this. And then, do you see it? I'm gonna move it just so you can get an idea. There's plenty of water in here. My heat is on high. I'm just gonna bring it to a boil. I'll just keep it like this so you can see what I'm doing with it. You see it's starting to boil already?
Arch, I have a question. I
Yeah.
did the potatoes and I added the salt. Now I add water.
Yes, mix it, mix all your masala. Can you take your phone a little bit closer so I can see your screen? Yeah, oh, yeah, okay, perfect. You added tomatoes,
Yes.
turmeric?
Yes. I added everything, I think, except for the water.
Okay, perfect. Add your water.
Okay.
Bring it to boil like mine is sizzling right now. It's on full heat. Jika, can you see what yours looks like?
Looks weird.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Okay, your level of water is great and yours is boiling as well. Drika, turn your heat down and cover your pot. And I'm gonna cut my peppers. I'm just gonna turn off this camera. So I turned my heat down to medium low. And what I'm doing now is I'm allowing that water that we added to the potatoes to cook the potatoes. While the potatoes are cooking, we're gonna cut our peppers. And the reason for that is obviously potatoes take much longer to cook than the peppers do. We want the peppers to be a little bit al dente and we want the potatoes to be like soft and creamy. So they take much longer. Now, a little hack is if you have boiled potatoes, pre-boiled potatoes sitting in the fridge, you can chop those up, do the same thing, except when you add your water, you can go ahead and add your peppers too. You don't have to cover and cook because your potatoes are already cooked. I almost always have a couple boiled potatoes in my fridge because I know throughout the week at some point I'm gonna throw them in something. So I always have them, but I wanted to use raw for you today just so you can see how I do that. But that was a little hack that my mom always had growing up. She's had certain vegetables always in the fridge. I think there was a point where we didn't have a fridge when I was little. It was not a very common thing. And people made, back in olden days, we did not have a refrigerator. Most people didn't, not that we didn't have it. And, you know, my mom made all the meals fresh. And she was so good at making exactly what we needed. And when we did have some leftovers, we would cook them again because there wasn't refrigeration. But anyway, she always had some boiled potatoes on hand because we would come home from school and she would like throw something together for us before the dinner was ready. So it's like a habit that I also have. I always have. Sweet potatoes. I'm just cutting my peppers into small pieces, same size as the potatoes, and I'm going to show you what my peppers look like once I have a few, just so you guys have an idea of how small I'm making them. And this is a great way to incorporate, here I'm going to pick them up so you can kind of gauge how small the pieces are. A little bit smaller than 1 by 1 inch. This is a 1 by 1 inch piece, just so you guys have an idea. So I'm gonna finish cutting rest of my, and I can hear my potatoes boiling. I just took a little peek. It's simmering, it's doing its thing. I'm just gonna leave it alone. No need to pick. Make sure your heat is turned down though, medium low. So we want to give enough time. If the heat is too high, the water is going to evaporate too fast and the potatoes won't cook through. These peppers are so crunchy that it's almost kind of an injustice to cook them. They deserve to be eaten raw. But I ate so many raw peppers this week that I'm kind of over it. I made a hummus cilantro jalapeno hummus this week and ate so many celery sticks and peppers, and I actually also dipped peaches in the hummus, but that's me. All right. This is a great way to add color. I always say eat the rainbow. Different peppers, different color peppers have different nutrients, even though it's the same vegetable, same family. The colors do add different nutrients to it. So especially in summertime, it's a great time to eat On the West Coast, we get colorful vegetables pretty much all throughout the year. But if you're on the East Coast, it's not always the freshest cauliflower or the freshest, purple cabbage or whatever. But summertime is the best time to get all the peak, if you can get hands on your farmer's market. Try to add as much color to every one of your dishes as possible. And the kids like it too. Why not? I think this is enough, maybe a little bit more of the green.
Are we trying to have like an even ratio of peppers to onions?
Nope, not at all. Not at all. Because your onions are just your flavor. You don't need nearly as much of your onion-based masala.
Sorry, I made a mistake. Potatoes to peppers.
No, not necessarily. If you want to, if you're a sucker for potatoes like I am, you can have more potatoes than peppers if it was up to me. But no, I like to have less potatoes and a lot more of the other vegetables. But you can do 50-50, it's up to you, whatever you like. It doesn't really matter. Potatoes are like a treat for me. I always fish them out. So I try to add as many vegetables. I'm done cutting my peppers. Just want to show you. I have green, purple, orange, and red. I think only color I'm missing is yellow because I used up my yellow peppers earlier in the week. Today is Friday, so I'm just listening to my potatoes simmering on low. I'm not gonna check on them. I'm gonna wait for you guys to finish cutting, and then we'll lift our lids together and take a look and see how far the potatoes have come. Because once your potatoes are cooked, honestly, we just have to add our peppers and mix it, incorporate it really well and cook for another 5 minutes and we're done, because the peppers don't really need to be cooked until they're mushy. You want to just kind of keep them lightly cooked so they retain their shape and bit of a crunch, if you will, to maximize the retaining their nutrients. I do find that if I eat a lot of raw peppers, they make me a little bloated. So I love cooking them, so then there's no bloat issue. I mean, it's much harder for your digestive system to process anything raw, obviously. And it's much easier for your body to process anything that's already cooked and soft. Soft food digests better than hard foods. I mean, we know that, right? So my Ayurvedic practitioner, my doctor actually recommends for me for dinner to not have any solid food. I'm supposed to only eat soft foods like lentil soups and like khichdi, like a very soupy, mushy things. No like bread, no hard things. But I just eat very early so I can do whatever I want. No pizza, no none of that. Are you guys all done cutting? Everybody looks like they're done cutting. Okay, let's check. I'm gonna switch to my hand cam so you can see how I'm just putting, you see I lift it and I just tilt the lid back in here because it has a lot of water so that all the water goes back in. This is what my situation looks like right now. It still has quite a bit of water, which is what I want. It looks so yummy. Let's test if the potatoes are cooked. I don't think they are yet. They need a little bit more time, but I just wanted to check. Okay, my potatoes are halfway there. They still need to be cooked a little bit more. They smell divine. You can check for salt if you like, adjust your salt now. But look at how yummy that looks already, right? You can even add, if you don't have peppers, if you're like scrounging for at the end of the week, you don't know what to make. Everybody has a couple of potatoes lying around at the bottom of the crisper. You can add frozen peas to this if you like, peas and carrots. You can add green beans. You can add a can of chickpeas if you like. I just mixed it. I covered it back up. I'm gonna put the heat on a little bit high and I'm gonna leave it alone. Can you guys hear me okay now? Yeah, audio is not an issue. You know what? I think I'll just going forward not even use headphones anymore. Everyone's so quiet today. It's okay. Even the puppy fell asleep. She ran around and fell asleep. She was chewing. She has a piece of celery that she's been chewing on that I gave her yesterday. So what she does is whenever she finds me standing still, she brings this stupid thing, puts it on my foot, and then sits next to me and chews on it while this is on my foot. So it was literally on my foot right now. And that's her thing. So now she's sleeping. She's so cute. She's gotten so big. She needs to go get adopted. She needs to go to her house now. She's starting to take up a lot of space in my house. All right, this is cooking. Leave your potatoes covered. They need about another, I'm gonna give them another like 10 minutes. Because once the potatoes are done, we're done pretty much, right? I'm gonna show you how to make the cilantro mint chutney. It's gonna change your life. You can use this as a salad dressing. You can use it like on a like pesto, almost like a pesto equivalent. You can do so many things with it. So I'm gonna show you, I have my blender, no oil, nothing. I'm just using my regular blender. I'm putting half a cup of filtered water. Let me make sure I'm not lying to you. I'm sorry, I apologize. Let's say 1 cup of water. I have my 1 bunch of cilantro. This cilantro is from yesterday. I washed it, so it's a little wilty. This is perfect. You don't have to trim it. You don't have to cut it. Just have to make sure it's clean and put the whole thing in here. Then I have my mint. Same thing with the mint. I have my 1 bunch of mint. This part, the stem is a little bit tough, so I'm just gonna cut it off actually. Cutting the chunky part of the stem off. Oh my God, it smells so good. These like chunky fat stems. Rest, I'm just gonna leave everything. I'm gonna take the leaves off, add it, throw it into my blender. Here's the whole thing going in here. I'm gonna do, what did I do? Oh, a couple of cloves of garlic. Or did I say in the recipe? Let me make sure I'm not making it up. 2 cloves of garlic. I'm doing 4, you guys, because my cloves are small. And I'm doing lemon and ginger. I have my 1 inch. I have a huge piece of ginger. I'm just gonna cut 1 inch of it off. I'm just gonna take a little bit of the skin off. That's kind of like on the wrinkly side. Some of it is still very fresh, so I'm gonna leave it alone. Just like this whole thing. You don't have to cut it. You don't have to do anything. Super easy. I'm doing half a teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna do tiny bit of black pepper, not very much actually. You don't have to if you don't want to. And then I have lemon. So what I do with the lemon, actually, I don't juice it. I just skin it. And I put the whole lemon in there. And you can take some of the seeds out if you want to, but I don't even really bother with that. I'm just gonna show you what my lemon looks like. It's a huge lemon. I just took the skin off, Drika. You don't have to juice it. There's a lot of fiber and nutrients in the pulp of the lemon. So the whole thing. So we added mint, cilantro, lemon, garlic, ginger. You can add your, so if are you guys adding jalapeno? If you're adding jalapeno, take the seeds out, especially if have kids that are gonna be eating. You don't have to add jalapeno, but jalapeno adds like this vibrant little back heat to it, but you don't have to. I have 1 cup of water. Everything is in here, salt. I'm closing it and I'm just gonna blend it right behind me and I'll show you. Yeah, you have a question?
Yeah, would this, if I put this whole jalapeno, would be too spicy?
It's too much. Do half. Do the front half. Your jalapeno is like a mutant. It's huge.
Okay, thank you.
Only do half. Do the front half, not the back half.
Oh, okay.
Back half is the spiciest.
No way.
Yes, because that's where all the seeds and you know that white part, that's the heat. Yeah, the heat is in the seeds and the white part. So if you use the front of it, it's going to be the least spicy because what you're looking for is like that vibrant jalapeno flavor, a tiny bit of back heat. You don't want it to be like so spicy. So I'm going to blend it. That's it. It's a bit on a smoothie, chunky side. Oh my God, it smells so good. Let's taste it. Oh my God, it's perfect. Okay. Wow, look at this gorgeous color, you guys. Let me show you. And you can put this in a jar with a lid. I save all my jam jars and my pasta sauce jars. Do you guys see the consistency? It's a little bit on the chunky side. And it's a little watery. And that's kind of what you're looking for because we're gonna put this on top of, it's almost like a thick smoothie consistency. Oh my God, it's so good. And I can really taste the raw garlic in the back of my tongue because I put a little bit more garlic. I love that raw garlic feel. Let me know how your sauce turns out. The recipe that I gave you is actually perfect in itself. But if you taste it and you're like, I want it a little saltier, I want it a little bit more tart, you're welcome to add a little more lemon juice to it, a little bit more salt to it. But keep in mind, we're putting this on top of our peppers and tomatoes, and so that's already salty. So you don't want it to be super salty. You can even toss some pasta. Oh my God, it's so good. Let me know how your chutney turns out. I can hear my tomatoes sizzling away. I'm just gonna take a peek and check on them and I'll do it with you so I can show you. Put the water back in. Still, the beauty of covering it with a good tight lid is that most of the water and the moisture remains. And my potatoes are almost done. Oh yeah. They're a little al dente right now, but I'm happy with the way they're not super mushy. Yeah, they're cutting through very easily. How are your potatoes? I'm going to show you how to add your peppers to it. Josie, are your potatoes pretty cooked or not?
Yes, to the point that I actually burned them.
Oh, that's okay.
I had to transfer, but they look good now.
Okay, I think maybe the heat was a little bit too high and not enough water. Yeah, that's okay. You can add another half a cup of water to your potatoes. Yeah, just to kind of give them a little bit of moisture and just mix them around. I'm adding my peppers. This smells so good. You can eat this on rice. You can eat this with tortilla if you like. I have corn tortilla, and I think for dinner, I might do that with a little pico de gallo. Just want to show you how how is the moisture in your potatoes? They should be, so if you look at mine, it's not so dry. It's a bit on the saucy. There's like a little bit of water to it.
Yeah, let me show you mine.
Okay. Oh, nice. Perfect. Yeah, just mix them. How are your potatoes? Are they cooked?
They're a little mushy.
Oh,
I think-
perfect. Mushy is good because the peppers are gonna have a crunch to it. So the texture of like the crunchy fresh pepper and creamy potato and the tangy tomatoes, that whole combination gives you like a full flavor profile. My potatoes, for some reason, did not get as mushy as I like. I like my potatoes very mushy. Mine are like they're a little al dente, but I mean, they're cooked all the way through. You want your potatoes to be cooked all the way through. They should not have that little hard core because that will give you a tummy ache. Just gonna taste. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My tomatoes were a little bit sweet. So there's a bit of a sweetness to it. I'm turning my heat up just a little bit because I want my peppers to get a little soft. And I'm taking a little bit of my leftovers fresh cilantro and I'm just gonna chop it up like super chunky and throw it in here just to kind of give it a little bit more of a vibrancy throughout. But don't forget we have our mint cilantro chutney that's gonna go on top, so we don't really need. This is totally optional. You know what I forgot to add was red pepper. So I'm gonna add that now because I do want a little heat, a little bit of heat. I'm doing half a teaspoon of red pepper. Oh, wow. This smells and looks so good. I'm turning my heat all the way up now. It's got those caramelized chunks of garlic. When you bite into it, it's not going to be super garlicky because it's cooked through. Oh yeah. And you can taste the garam masala. Got a little bit of a cinnamon profile to it. This looks so good. Let me show you guys. The colors make all the difference. Rika, are your potatoes cooked, babe? They need to be cooked.
Maybe like 3 more minutes and we'll be fine.
Yeah, you have a little bit more. So just make sure you have the potatoes still have a little bit of water in them so they don't dry out, so they don't burn at the bottom, and keep the lid closed.
Okay.
I feel like I made so much, even though I only put 2 potatoes. This is literally, I mean, minimum of 3 people serving. And if you have other things, another great way to serve this is to do like a bed of greens, like a spicy arugula or baby spinach and baby kale. If you have, put that on the bottom and put this on top. And that's a really great dish as well. My dish is done. I don't want to cook my peppers anymore. They've gotten a little bit soft. They have all the spices and the tomatoes and garlic going through them. And I have my chutney here. I'm just gonna clean up while you guys are finishing your dish. I'm a pretty messy cook. I'm just gonna throw this away real quick. I'm doing a bed of organic mixed greens that I have that are washed. Just a little bit. I try to, I don't eat raw vegetables very much. Only exception to that rule would be greens and celery and cucumbers and fresh baby peppers, like the purple ones I showed you, not the big ones with the thick skin. Those are really hard to digest. You want to help your digestive system as much as possible so you can avoid any type of digestion, gas, bloating, GI type of issues. So I have my bed of greens. You guys keep cooking. I'm just plating it for you because you can even finish off so that you don't miss out on anything. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. I wish you lived a little closer, Adrian, because you could totally come get this. I have so much.
Arch, that's crazy. I was literally about to joke and say, I'll take some Arch.
I would love for you to take it because you know what's going to happen is my kids will eat a couple bites and they'll be like, yep, this is great. We'll see you later. And they'll start making whatever they want to make. They both cook.
My friend's over there. Maybe he can pick it up. He's in Santa Monica.
Yeah, if he's nearby, please. Because
Oh my gosh.
how much am I going to eat, right? Like, I always have, look at how much.
Right.
This is like 2 people's worth of food that I put in my one bowl.
That looks so good.
It smells so good. I wish you were here. It's a good reason for you to move closer. There's always leftovers. Okay.
I'm done. I'll let my friend know. Have a good class.
Like I'm moving closer to this lady that cooks and always has food left over. I don't have a sense of portion. I have a big family. I grew up in a big family and just don't know how to cook for one person. So this is kind of what my plating looks like. This is my chutney. I want to show you. And I'm going to put some cilantro next to it just so I can show you how cute it is. I'm going to take a picture. Put this here. A little bit of garlic. Let me show you. And I'm just gonna add like, I'll douse a little bit of this. Oh my God, how pretty is that? Chutney on top. And you have tons. If you followed my recipe exactly, you have a lot left. And I encourage, yeah, you do. I have a ton left. You can put this in a jar, put a lid on it in a Tupperware or whatever you like and stick it in the fridge and you can use it as a salad dressing, anything you like. Shari, can I see, where are you in the process now?
I've cooked it and it's ready.
Oh my God, that looks beautiful. Do you have cilantro, babe, or no?
No, I didn't have cilantro, so I'm just gonna cook that later.
That's okay. Cilantro and mint stays good for a pretty decent amount of time. So whenever you're in the market, you can always grab some cilantro, mint, green onions, just like a handful of greens for garnish and cooking. And last time we were talking about how detoxing and how cleansing cilantro is, like raw cilantro. Because you put cilantro powder in your food initially, so you have all the micronutrients.
Yeah.
Eat it raw as a garnish, like in the chutney and just on the side. It's so good for you and it's so vibrant. So just so you guys know. What do you guys think? It smells so good. I just ate like not so long ago, but I'm still hungry. I'm still gonna eat. How does it taste, Shari? My mouth is watering looking at it. It's hot. Let me try mine too, actually. I need a fork. Oh, yum. My pepper is still crunchy, like when you bite into it. Oh yeah. You know, half a teaspoon of salt goes a long way.
My potatoes are creamy and my peppers are still crunchy. It's like a perfect mix.
Right, that's exactly what we're going for, and that was the whole point of kind of layering. That's why we cooked the potatoes for so long and waited for the peppers. If we had added peppers with the potatoes or any sooner, they would have become paste, like they would have become so soggy and mushy because it's a pretty delicate vegetable, and potatoes are super hardy. So that's everything, you guys. Do you have any questions? Do you have any concerns? No? Jika, you can also make some turmeric rice if you want and serve it with turmeric rice. And actually, what I like to do with the leftovers the next day, I'll take like a good piece of like sourdough bread or some kind of yummy bread, and I'll make a sandwich out of this. Like I'll layer like a panini. I'll put the sauce, the chutney on the bread and a little bit of vegetable. And if you have like some vegan cheese, totally optional. And just cook it on the pan like a panini and cut it. Oh my God, for lunch with like a little bit of greens. So good. I love you guys. This was so fun. Do you have any questions?
I like the idea to cook with, to make it with a tortilla too, you know?
Yes, like a taco. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can even make quesadilla out of it. Just put it in a taco. So filling. But for lunch, I feel like, well, Josie's on the East Coast, almost dinner time for you. But for us, it's like a lunch, like we don't know what day of the week it is. Like, I think that's the problem now. I think this is lunchtime for me, but this is a perfect lunch. So I hope you guys enjoy. It was so lovely to see you. If there's something special that you guys want to make next week, just message me like, hey, can we make this? And if we can fit it, like I have to choose recipes that I can do in an hour, within an hour. Stuff that's gonna cook, like I can't cook something that's not gonna finish. So if I can do it, I'll totally do it for you. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Adrian. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Arch. That's great.
Thank you, Art.
Very good.
It's delicious. Thank you.
Thank you, Arch.
Bye, babe.